Hello. I read a story somewhere about parenting, bad parents, good parents, that I want to share with you about children having temperaments and not necessarily their parents being good or bad parents. Someone shared a story of a colleague which they used to meet in church. These people were Phleg and male couple, and it happened that most of their children took after that temperament. So when they got to church, they were all seated the same place. They worshiped silently. They did not distract any neighbor, and they went back. And she was choleric. Her husband was male, but secondary choleric. So they had sanguine children. They have choleric children. And when they got to church, they were all over the place. Remember, cholerics, they must be busy. As a baby, if you take them in a cart to the market or to the mall, when they get there, they will come out from it and they'll start pushing it. So same as in church, you put them on the bench, they're down, they're going around. The sanguine children they're going around looking for which other baby to play with, making friends in church. Sanguine babies know other babies that when they come to mass or to service, they will go and check, oh, did this woman come with the child? They have to go and visit those babies. So this other lady used to really be irritated by the fact that these children will not stay one place and they are always everywhere, and said their mother was a bad mother, that she doesn't know how to discipline children. And as a mother, most of us have done this mistake by thinking that these other children are not staying in one place because their mothers don't know how to discipline children. And because my husband, our kids, maybe we have 4 kids, they're all seated on the same bench, we are very good parents, we can discipline children. That's not true. Some of the children, they are self-disciplined. The melancholy child is disciplined from birth. The phlegmatic child is calm from birth. So even if you are a bad parent, they will still be calm in church or in public gathering. And the cholerics, no matter how hard you are to them, or the sanguine, they'll go around because they are what? They are extrovert. They'll find interest, happiness, replenishment by going around looking for other children who to play with, and not other children, family. No, strangers, they like it out there. Strangers. So they must leave where they are seated with their parents and go out to go and look for the other children to play with. So the next time you see somebody's child, say, this woman is so undisciplined, or this woman holds children, just know that these children have different temperament. I sat Sunday in church and a woman kept on hitting the child. Can't you laugh? Why are you always looking wicked like this? I was so impatient. I wanted to start teaching her temperament in church, and I told myself, please, just be patient, hold yourself. I wish I had time after church. I really was eager to tell her about the child. She was showing that same child that, look at these other ones. They're smiling. They're just always sitting like this. And I look at the child. The child was really depressed and still stayed like that. And I imagine, what if this child is a melancholy and being pressured this way? The child will even get more and more depressed, and the woman will end up raising a very bitter child just because she doesn't have the information that this child is not like the other children which are sociable. So we parents have the tendency to compare our children with neighbors' children, or sometimes we think they are smart just because the way they perform in school, that they are better off than the neighbors' children. You've known, normally and naturally, melancholy children who usually top the class. I have a male child. When I just knew she would top the class. When she went to secondary school, she topped the class. Her other siblings, sanguines and cholerics, they were struggling, but she long topped the class. She was collecting all the prizes. I had told her things that because you're a male, she memorized. She already knew she can't memorize, she would top the class. And the sanguines, they had their own numbers, and some choleric. The choleric didn't top the class, but she started writing books. She wrote her book in Form 1. Even before Form 1 in class 6, she had written a book. Because they're free thinkers, they're strategic thinkers. She's thinking of, what can I do? They're independent people. So for a choleric child, it's not about being the first in class, which should be a priority to the parent. It's about her starting something. I would jokingly say every choleric should have a business or an organization. That is because the energy of a choleric is too much just to be an employee. Even if that choleric has a job, they might overdo in that company, not because They just have this extra energy which they should put somewhere. And the best place to put extra energy is to start building something, because whenever you're building something, you have no job description. So you just keep and working. So before you use your child, which is completely different temperament, to compare another person's child, know that they are different. When we grew up, there was a friend who had a sanguine child, was all talking, very young, and we like, oh, this child is extra gifted. And we didn't know about temperament. And as we're all seated and watching, they could not talk in public. We knew we had a dumb set of kids. So we noticed that child was just a sanguine, and that was just all. They could say all the rhymes as young as they are, and then parent already started complaining, my child is smart, my child is not smart. Whether they are smart at that level, your concern is just to help them read and write. Because if they are sanguine, even if they're failing in school, they have very smart in relationship and communication. So they'll end up still succeeding in life. Cholerics, they are smart in strategic thinking and their adversity quotient, they're going to start something and succeed in it. The males will pass in school and make good professionals, but the flex too, their empathy will create a way for them. And so they all have special gifts, and like it is said, it's not your exam scores that will make way for you, it's your gifts that will make way for you. So parents, don't grade children whether they are scattered, they are stable, they pass in school first or they pass last. There's something more than that. Look at a child's temperament, what make them unique, and build it, because it's surely going to make a way for them. Hello.